Jazz hands. Look.
Good evening.
Ale.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That's because you're a hermit and you don't come out of your office.
Good morning. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good morning. Good evening. Good night. Wherever you are tuning in from.
Yes. Good night. Didn't we have some lovely comments in the Facebook group today, didn't we? Wasn't that lovely?
Oh,
Marianne,
awesome?
Hello. You're back.
Marianne, you're back for more.
Ooh. Hello. Angela's here.
Let me see who that is.
Don't we feel more comfortable when we're in our Phoenix group and we're not out on that out in the public page where everybody's looking? It's like so much nicer in here. It's cool. It's lovely. It's warm. It's cozy. Elizabeth is here. Hi, Elizabeth. Hello, says another Facebook user. Who's that, Gary?
Was that the one that just came in?
There's two. There's a couple of them.
I'm waiting.
Hello, Grace.
The one after Elizabeth. One looks as though I got missed.
There's two. There was one under Marion and Libby's here. Something awful happened today, Gary. I missed Libby's tutorial. I'm going to say this publicly.
What?
I put my phone on work mode and I didn't have it in my calendar. So she's booked it with you tomorrow. Oh. You've got Libby tomorrow instead of me, which I'm probably sure she's much happier about.
Oh, that's fine. Me and Libby can have a nice chat.
You can have a natter, can you? Two ladies together.
We can have a natter.
Hello. Susan's here. Hi, Susan Garvin. Hello. Sandra's here from Chuck. Alicia's here. Hello. Good to see you. Hello. Don't know who that is. FU.
That's Giselle, I think.
Oh, hi, Giselle. Good to see you. Dawn, I'm here. I'm free. Hello from Michigan, says another Facebook with the green heart.
That's Michelle Quinn Mallory.
Catherine's here. Hello. Nova's here. Oh, now, see, Nova, now you see you can't get enough now. You just might think you're just going to miss out and you're like, I got to just watch my pal Lindsay. I don't know if you ever met Gary. Did you ever meet Gary? I don't know.
I'm sure I met Nova a couple of times. I'm pretty sure. Well, if I didn't, I feel that I do know Nova because you talked about her lots.
And of course, it's Pinky's mummy.
Good.
It's Pinky's mummy.
Oh, I'm Pinky's mummy. Oh, yes, I remember.
Pinky's mummy. Pinky smells. She's just been out for a run earlier and she was wet and she's down underneath my desk. I'd show you Nova, but I can't. Pinky is my dog and Nova bred my dog. Hello. Uta's here. Hello. I love that little avatar. Again, hello all together. Yes, Lydia's here. Hello from Canada. Did you get your ebooks, Lydia? Lydia was trying to get her ebooks and they hadn't arrived. She couldn't get them. So I sent them to you by email, Lydia. I hope you got them. Hello from Sweden. Hello. Nova says Dougie misses you. Miss Dougie. Doug is her Highland. Who, when we did all our learnings about evolution, etc., and the evolutionary markings, Highland ponies, absolutely, I think more than any other horse other than Bruswalski's, really exhibit those evolutionary markings, don't they? Those sort of prehistoric markings of that. He's that dun color and he's got that dark strip down his
stripe down,
and stripy legs. Yeah. Stripy legs on the lower legs. And wasn't that the Queen's favourite pony, a Highland?
Highlands are, yeah. She used to ride Highlands all the time. Yeah.
Morning from Australia. Finished the 15-day challenge. Started the 10-day today. Amazing. Loving it. Yes. Do you know, we're on day 21 and I thought, my goodness, if you'd started the challenge like 21 days ago and you're going through it like we are, it's it is, you know, it's a challenge, isn't it? We've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. You know, you really have to push yourself. And hopefully when you're going through the challenge, you're like, ooh, that was so interesting. I can't wait for day 2. And you're like, oh, the next day. And you can't get into the next day. It won't let me in. And so therefore you have us on the lives. So you know, if you're sort of getting withdrawal symptoms, here we are, live. I don't know about alive, but live.
Live.
I don't feel very alive most of the time. Meta's here. Hello, Meta. Becky. Hello, darling. Lydia says, not yet. Oh, go and look in your emails, Lydia. I sent them. Gosh, I sent it this morning. I sent you the emails this morning. I replied to your email and sent it to you this morning. Hello from Australia. Hello. Hi. Nova says he has Go Faster stripes. He does. Oh, bless that boy. He does. Hello from Vivienne. Hello. Well, what are we going to talk about this evening, folks? What are we going to talk about this evening? Anybody see my breakover post? People have been asking about breakover, Gary. They've been.
I did see the breakover post.
Did you see
and
that?
I thought it made perfect sense, as always.
As always. Marion says, wormers, please. Well, we do what was
no,
it?
we've done a lesson on wormers, didn't we? And parasites and stuff like that.
What did we do last night? Because Marion's first night was last night.
Yes, I think it was the night before or the night before that. So it was definitely this week. Will it be up on YouTube yet?
Maybe not yet. It might be going up tonight. It depends, because I missed a night. Actually, I missed 2 nights going up on YouTube. So, Marion, we did a whole live on talking about worming and wormers, and I think we actually touched on vaccinations as well. I'll let you know when it's up in the group. I'll check it tonight.
Yes.
When it's up on YouTube.
Or I'll find it in the Facebook group and I will message it to you.
Thank you, Lydia.
Either.
Lydia says she did see the thing on breakover. Hey, now Marion says. Marion's like turning up and going, I want you to talk about all these things. We've covered quite a lot of them. We will cover them again and again and again. Do get on to the YouTube channel, because they are going in there, and gradually I'm updating the guides in the Phoenix group as well. But there's a bit of a lag as we update. I think we might be about 3 or 4 days behind at the moment. Angela says, hey, okay. Well, I don't know how much about hey we're going to talk about, because guess what? We talk about it in the challenge. Is it in the guide section on here? I don't think so. I don't think I've uploaded it onto the guide section yet. Thank you for reminding me, Jenny. You do realize you're creating an addiction to your lives. Yes.
Perhaps. I'm going to frighten you now. Would you sign up for the challenges if we stop the lives?
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, is that something that we might have to trial?
We're going to have to stop coming and doing these lives, Gary. I see where you're coming from. I see your thinking.
I just wonder whether it's just, perhaps we're just giving too much away free.
Nah, they're never watched it all. Hello, evening all, says Galsworth, says Bethan. Hello.
Hi, Bethan.
Angela said hay was, I see what you're saying. Hay was last night when I was saying, you just have to spread your sentence out a little bit more. So it's not like, guess what we're talking about. Vicky says, are high fiber meadow nuts okay for positive reinforcement training? Actually, it just depends how many you're using, because you'd be surprised how many you can get through when you're doing a training session. What I use are whole oats. That is what I use as my treat of choice. And yes, I do treat. I do. Because I've never met a horse that doesn't like it. Do they become monsters? Well, I make sure that I have my carrot stick so that I can say, if you become a monster, I do my dirty dancing bit. This is my space and that's yours. Don't come into it. So, yeah, I use, it's cheap because you can buy masses of them and you can get great handfuls, stick it in your pocket, and you only have to give them little bits at a time. So that's what we use, isn't it, Gary?
It is. It is. Hello. It works very well. You don't need this massive bucket that you strap to yourself. Maybe in a pocket or in a little tiny bum bag. That's perfectly adequate.
Yes, it's just in my pockets. You don't need a massive. The trouble is with the big treats, you have to have these big bags and stuffed in there, aren't they? And that. Nova says arthritis, please. Well, yes, we might talk about that, but maybe not tonight. But that is something that I think we could talk about, because I think people could learn more about arthritis in the main joints of the leg. I mean, we could talk about arthritis all over the body, but we could talk about arthritis. We could talk about ring bone, lower and higher ring bone. Do people really know what that is? Is side bone a form of arthritis? Yes, it could be considered a form of arthritis. What about as we go further up the leg? What about in the fetlock joint? What about in the hock joint? Those are commonplace. The hock joint obviously is a big one, isn't it? But what goes on in the foot? I like that. And yes, we might just do that. I will prepare some things for you, some slides. We will. Sarah says, hi, hello. Marianne says, absolutely, addiction loop completed. I don't know why. Why
and that's only after one.
Flipping interesting. Contracted heels. Pinky's, just for your information, Nova, Pinky's snoring down here. Contracted heels. Yes, that's. You talk about that. Yes. Can I ask why you would get stretch but no laminitis present? Well, that's a big subject. But laminitis in its true sense from dietary route, you would have stretch because the hoof wall loses its guide. And everything that's going on in there starts to just sort of peel away from itself. Why? Because we have like a membrane that sticks them together. It's a bit like double-sided sticky tape between the laminae. And what happens is part of the glue on the double-sided sticky tape starts to give on one side, and it starts to do this and peels, and then they stretch. And we know that is a process. They used to think it was to do with the vascular system in the foot. That was the first thing that they thought about with laminitis. And then they moved on through Chris Pollitt's research and the histology that he was looking at. He found out that it was to do with the enzymes, those great enzymes that Gary knows the name of. P.
Matrix metalloproteinase.
Oh, look, see, trips off the tongue. Matrix metalloproteinase. Look at it. Look at his proud little face. Yeah.
I'm absolutely rubbish at remembering big, long Latin names.
Except that one.
Absolutely rubbish. Well, that one, I just drummed it into myself.
I've hammered it
Don't
into
ask me any others.
No. I might just do that though, just because it'd be funny watching you squirm. No, I won't be cruel. So that's that. But there's also another part of this where it muddles the and confuses and muckies the water and makes it very murky, and that's incorrect hoof care. When you throw that into the mix, then we've got stretch, because this hoof wall cannot grow in line again. So yeah, you can have stretch. The thing is though, also I think, which people need to understand, is when, for instance, if you look at the horses that are recovering at Galsworth at Bethans, they've got stretch. Have they got laminitis? No, not now. It's growing out. It's that diverging hoof wall. Once we get the foot into the right position, that hoof wall grows out. So they'll still have stretch there. The challenge is that when you've got the foot in the right position, you've got active stretch and you're not getting a healing angle coming in. That's when it becomes a challenge. And the truth is that you really have to hammer the diet at that point, because when we have that situation, that's actually trickier than the situation of, even though it sounds more horrendous, than the situation of having a horse with rotation, because you've been all freaked out by rotation and sinking, that when we have a horse with rotation sinking, which is not a thing, it's because of the consequence of P3 and extensive process moving and rotating. True sinkage, when you've lost, half of P3, well, it's not in there anymore. So that's something else. But it's actually more dramatic, but an easier fix in the long run for horses that are like this than the ones that are in the right position and they're out here and aren't getting a healing angle coming in, because that is all down to the diet, and something is in that diet that's causing those constant inflammatory processes, inflammatory actions that are happening in the foot. Those are tricky, because the rotation ones, Gary and I can come along, or our pros can come along, and we can make changes to that. Okay, it gets even trickier, I suppose, when we've got compaction. But when we are like, we've got everything in play that we can do, but that stretch is still not growing out, and we're still seeing spots of red and blood and sometimes serum in the white line, then we know that there are problems. In fact, I will give you I'll give you a for instance. Let's see if I can find this one. Oh God, I hope I can find it. Daisy. So, where have I put it though? That's the trouble. So I took on two little minis called Daisy and Lily. Nearly forgot them. Why did I nearly forget Lily's name? That's weird, isn't it? And Daisy, I think I've shown you Daisy before, because we've shown you Daisy. I don't know. I think we might have shown you Daisy in a video. Here's Daisy walking now. Well, a year or so ago. There's no sound to it, so you won't hear sound. Well, there is, but you're not going to really hear it. So this is Daisy walking with Sam, who's my daughter's boyfriend, who also needs to change his shoes. He needs some new shoes. There, look at his shoes. This is Daisy. So Daisy, you can see her walking. You can see her. She's walking nicely. She's striding out. She's tracking up. You can see she's landing nicely with all 4 feet. it's quite funny when we see Shetlands walking, because we normally only get this slow-mo video with big horses, don't we? So I love it when we've actually got a little one that we can show you. Let's go back the other way. Coming back the other way is Sam sorting it out. Away they go. Let's watch her again going through. And this is going to neatly bring us into the bit about breakover, but I just want to finish off on that whole sort of laminitis thing. But you can see there she goes. So you can see that head sort of going down. She's checking out the terrain. She's just checking it out there. Oh, and off she goes. That was better, says you. That's Daisy. Right, now I want to see if I can find... Where would I have put it? I would have put it. Do you remember the image that I've got of Daisy recovering, Gary?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. Oh, I found it. Okay. So Daisy, in fact, Caroline went to these two before me, and then I took over from Caroline because Caroline couldn't go anymore. Do you see this? Do you see it?
Yeah.
So you can see here, this is when Daisy came to me. Oh no, we were banging that whole "don't dump the toes" drum years ago. Look, this was in 2014. So here she came, and you can see, can't you, that healing angle coming in. Oop. And you can see this. Now, what's interesting about these photos is that I had been the trimmer for Daisy for a year. And prior to that, so had Caroline. But Daisy had been continually having laminitic events. I knew her feet were in the right position. I knew her, I mean, she might look like she's got a little bit of high heel, but it's just the image, the way it's taken. I was doing the trimming right. I knew her feet were fine, but she wasn't growing out that separation. And periodically I'd turn up and her feet would be in a mess. They'd be bleeding in the lamini. And it was becoming a bit of an issue. And then her adorable, loving parents, her human mum and dad, who were retired. One was a doctor, a retired doctor, and the other one was a retired headmistress. They went on holiday, but they had a lady who used to come and do. So she used to look after the house, and she used to look after the ponies. And she said to me, and this is all fine to tell you this because of what happened afterwards. And she said to me, I'm listening to you, Lindsay, and I'm not going to move the fence. And I went, what do you mean you're not going to move the fence? She said, well, I have to tell you that sometimes we move the fence. And I'm like, why do you do that? And they said, well, they think that she, when she gets better and she starts feeling, because she'd do this the whole time, she starts to get better, and then they move the fence, she'd have a little bit more. Or they brought her in every evening for a little bit of a pamper and a brush, and give her some carrots, and they'd give her bowls of nice things to eat. And because of this is why she wasn't getting any better. So when they went on holiday for 3 months, they went away for about 3 months. It was a long, long time. This lady was looking after them, and she did exactly what I told her. And Daisy really started to improve. And when they came back, they realized what was going on. And she said, she was so lovely. And she just said, Lindsay, I don't think I can look after them the way that they need to be looked after. And there was a bit of sickness as well that they were having to deal with. So I had to take them on. Well, I didn't have to. I went home and my family had said, no more. Mum, we're not having any more horses. My husband at the time said, no, we're not having any more horses. So we sat down for dinner and I went, oh, Daisy and Lily, well, they're going to try and find a new home for them. Like, right, they're coming here. I'm like, pardon? You just said that we're not allowed to have any more. No, not Daisy and Lily need to come here. And off we went to pick them up with the girls. It was a big event. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make to you is she came then to live with me on my tracks. And this was July. And she came to live with me in the April. So that shows you that that's the amount of growth that she had there. Because normally a healing angle won't even show up for the first 6 to 8 weeks. So by July, new healthy growth above the event line and the distorted separated hoof below the event line. It started to happen, but it didn't happen in her previous home. I battled for a year, and so did Caroline. And it frustrated me because every time I went, I was like, God, they're telling me that they're doing everything right. But I didn't know until their family went on holiday, and the lady that does came and said, actually, they aren't quite following what you say, what you say. And then it made sense. So there's always a reason. And then you can see that in September in 2014, the event line was halfway down the hoof wall, the healthy hoof above, very clear to see now. Okay. And I'm not bringing her toe back there. That was just because we just, trimmed it. In fact, we had some students with us, so they trim it. Now, here we are. Look, here's that telltale. We see this so many times. We just see that last ring coming out, but everything's straight. November 2014, event line just about to reach the ground at the toe. I don't tell porkies. I am not a propagandist, and neither is Gary. But when we put this up on Facebook, or every single time they go, it's not the same horse. You're lying. That's not the same horse. It's a different horse. Because look at it. It's got dark hair. Right. Just look at that very closely. It's
called mud.
White hair that's covered in mud. And when I took this photograph, because I'm so honest, I never thought anybody would ever challenge that. It never even crossed my mind. I didn't even think, oh, people are going to say, because she's a white horse, that it's not, and if you've also got to look at the hair, right? It's winter. She's a Shetland. She's growing tons of hair, so it's long compared to up here when it's not long because that's summer, right? And here we are in the winter, and she's grown. Never crossed my mind, right? Anyway, a certain person on Facebook who shall remain unnamed, who likes to have a little bit of a dig at me and put my photograph all over his Facebook page periodically, went to town on me on this and joked and mocked and said, look at them. Oh, it's not even the same horse. What? I would never do that. Not ever. I can guarantee. So that day, it happened to be the winter that he was mocking me. I went out and took photos of all my white horses, and they all have feet like that. Anyway, that's by the by. But the point is, if it's not growing out and you've got the hoof care right, there is definitely something going wrong with the diet and the management. Or you have some osteonecrosis at play. She didn't. She was a lucky one. She didn't. So there you are. I just thought I'd mention that. Okay. Very good.
I think it just highlights as well. Oh my God, we've been doing this a long time.
Yes, we have.
And the message isn't changing.
No. And I said,
isn't changing.
No, and I said,
and why is it? Why is it that people think that we are propagandists creating a cult and all those other horrible things that are out there? Do you really think that if we didn't have success, we would still be here 10 years later after that particular photo? And that video of her walking was actually taken last year to go in as part of our education for our pro students. And Daisy, it is Daisy, isn't it? Yes, Daisy and Lily, I get them mixed up.
Yeah, and I think we put that one in the 10-day challenge as well, because you were explaining how to take
slow-mo videos. Yes. So yes, our message hasn't changed. I think that's really worth highlighting. So when people turn around and say we're propagandists, we don't know what we're talking about, and we haven't got evidence, we've been doing this a long time. You've just seen it.
Got tons of evidence.
Got tons of it. Loads and loads of it.
Yeah. And we were, I mean, you know, I'm getting on a bit now. I've been around the block a few times, and I was around way before those people who are calling us a cult. Like I said, we've got to be careful how we say that. It's just disingenuous and blocks progression. It stifles progression because other people jump. I mean, it's always going to be the way, isn't it? You're going to have some people on one side, and then there's always got to be an opposing side. Frankly, to be honest, if there wasn't, life would be too easy. We know that. But it's boring when it just goes, when they just repeat the same things and they don't, and yet we've got bona fide answers for that, and they still don't come and find out. Now that smacks to me of ego. That doesn't smack to me of welfare. Like I said on the HM page, it shuts it down. It's kind of tin hat theory. It's kind of going, oh, well, you're a conspiracy theorist. As soon as somebody says those words, it's a shutdown. They're a cult. Giggle, giggle. It's a shutdown. It doesn't want, it's stopping. It's so other people can jump on going, oh, God, yeah, you're right. Instead of going, they've been around quite a long time. They've got an awful lot of people that follow them. They've got an awful lot of success. Don't you think we should actually go and look into what they're doing? Because I guarantee to you, 100% the people that are saying that are conflicted. 100%. Because I know what it feels like. And they're feeling conflicted. We're not horrid people. It's not easy sticking your head above the parapet and have people batter you over the head constantly. Eventually, you're going to do one or two things. You're going to go down and go, not putting up with that anymore. Or you're just going to go, damn it, listen. I'm not giving up. You've got to listen. You've got to listen, because this is about welfare. It's not about egos. It's about welfare. And unfortunately, the welfare in the horse world has plummeted. In fact, it's been plummeting for years, and it's hitting rock bottom. We see it in every aspect of the horse world, in sport, in racing, in dressage, at the Olympics. Everything has just gone. It's poor. We are not thinking about the horses. We are thinking about the humans wrapped up in a sweetie wrapper with the word welfare on it, pretending that it's about welfare. It is not. And what we are about is welfare. And that's why we stand up and get battered constantly. And I know people want to have somebody to throw stones at, and they want to have fun. But do you know what? I haven't got any stones. I've got a tissue. We're going to start throwing them back. Because
it needs to happen.
It needs to happen. I can't bear it. I can't bear looking at it. Gary can't bear looking at it. It's awful. We see it constantly. It comes in the group, and we want to help people. I don't want to see another pony with osteonecrosis with half the pedal bone disappeared. I don't want to see that again, just because the world is going like that and doesn't want to listen. It's like, oh, no. It can't be us. We're not doing it. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Get out of your old ideals. Step out of that box. Take your whole body out of the box and go and look at what other people are doing. We're not just having success because it's luck. I'm not a lucky person. Honestly, I'm just not a lucky person. I've never been able to win anything in my life. I'm not lucky. This isn't luck. This has got nothing to do with luck. It's nothing to do with, you just have those, you just got particular horses, you just managed to get, it's nothing to do with that. We take horses in situations that are dire. Bethan knows what I'm talking about, and some of the people that are watching this know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about dire situations where literally the next day that animal's going to be put to sleep because they're crippled and they cannot walk and they are in agony. Now, some of you may go, well, for welfare, you've got to put the horse to sleep. But they caused the agony and the crippling. The human did. It wasn't just, oh, it's laminitis. That's wrong to just sign it off. Again, that shuts it down. And we take these animals and within a very short period of time, we get them comfortable enough that they're getting out and looking outside and marching out of their stable where they've been told they can't leave the stable. They can't leave the stable. They can't leave the thick bedding in the stable because their P3 is going to come down. Whole foot's gone. Rubbish. Oh, yeah, we get penetration, but the penetration was there before we turned up. And the breakout in the sole, well, that was caused because the sole had died off. They know that happens. They know that all these things happen, but the disconnect is the bit where it was caused by the human. There's the disconnect because they go, oh, yeah, P3's rotated or sunk and we got necrosis because the tip of P3 is pushing down on the circumflex arteries, causing the sole not to grow, and it's all terrible. But P3 is still coming through because they think that because of the weight and it's lost its connection. No. You, human, caused it. You caused that rotation. So all we do is reverse it. Honestly, it's that simple. And we turn up and we sort the hoof care out and we watch that horse gradually recover. And it's horrible watching a horse in pain, but it's great watching a horse that wants to live. And how awful, how sickening do you think it is for us over and over and over again to see an animal in distress that was caused by a human being? Usually a group of human beings. It makes you push a little bit harder. And that's why go on.
You end up going two ways, don't you? You either push harder or you just put yourself in a box and say, I can't do this anymore, and just hide away from the world. But we can't do that.
I can't do that. That's not the way I'm
We can't do that. It's and it's not the way that our Phoenix warriors are made, because that's why they're here.
You need it. You need this.
Back in 2014, there wasn't that many of us, even though we knew it back then.
No.
But look at us now. It's much better, much more support. You think we're giving you support? Oh, good God. If it wasn't for you lot, I think we would have given up.
Yeah. This is our last stand.
This is our last stand now. So you horse owners, you need to come and follow us so we can together raise the standards of horse welfare across the world.
I think all these no's are because we've said we're going to stop the lives.
I was only joking.
We need lives. It's the daily fix. Lydia, no, I'm on the challenges, but I love the lives. I love the lives. Anna, hi. Oh, Anne. Oh, you got to Stratford then on your plane. Don't know why I did that. Planes don't do that, do they? Sorry. I'm going to sign up because of these lives. Ho, ho, ho. Good, because...
Excellent, Susan.
We've all got to be hoof heroes. We are planning on a, like I said before, on a Phoenix Warrior t-shirt. Not quite worked out how we want it yet. Haven't decided yet. And we're also going to do It's Not Rocket Science. I haven't done an It's Not Rocket Science lesson for ages. I feel like I'm getting withdrawal symptoms. I need to do one. I might just do one tomorrow morning. I don't know. Hello, Farmer Dan. Good to see
Hello, Farmer
you.
Dan. How are you doing?
Farmer Dan. It's Bethan's husband, for all of you who didn't know. Where did you get the nuts from? What nuts?
What
Talking
nuts?
about Grace. We are nuts. I have a great seed cracker recipe for reward training. No bad stuff in it at all. Can post on the group. I don't mind. Crack on. Hoof. Hoof. I don't know if I'm saying that right. We had a pony cake on too many dry pellets doing our... We had a pony choke on too many dry pellets doing our... Yeah. Just honestly, oats. Some whole oats, not rolled oats, whole oats. They love them. Yum, yum. Can you do a quickie on why white line rots away and how long it will take to grow out? Oh. So, yeah. In fact, I'm talking to a lady at the moment in Australia that's suffering from a little bit of this. Not her personally, obviously, her horse, her youngster. It's like a combination of things, right? It's a little bit like 2 steps forward and 1 step back, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So we start changing the diet, we start changing the management, we start getting a better trim. But we've got pathology set in. So it takes time for it to improve. And for some horses, it can take a couple of years. 2 or 3 years, in fact. A pony that I have here called Darcy, he's quite sensitive. He's never been laminitic per se, and he came to me very young, but he always had separation in the quarters. Now, this isn't separation from laminitis, so all around the front of the toe, tight, so tight, but at the quarters, it wouldn't heal, and it had stones would get in there, and that's kind of, the first time, I've had him a very, very long time, and that's when I sort of learned a lot more about stones actually not traveling up the white line, up into the lamina. The white line's too tough, and further up, it's much better. But I remember thinking, Dawn, God, when is this ever going to end? I'm sure I've got the diet right. I know I've got the management right. And why, when I'm trimming him, do I just see and Poppet used to do it too, one of my little Shetlands. And just persisting with the right diet, the right management. I didn't change anything. The right trim, making sure it's always down to the hard sole plane, never allowing, and particularly with horses like this, you may have to trim them more regularly to not allow those quarters to grow up, to allow more of a purchase, because obviously more, but you can't go picking out all the stones because that doesn't work either, because you can introduce more pathology to that, to the area, and microbes and pathogens. So you've got to kind of keep them down. And then one day, I just remember trimming Darcy and going, it's not there. It's gone. Just went. So for some horses, when it's set in, it just takes time. But I think one of the important things when we have a situation like that is absolutely making sure that we do definitely keep on top of that trim down to the hard sole plane. Don't let it get bigger. Don't let what's getting in there have depth so it can push the sole, because it'll do that and you'll see the sole wriggle and move sort of a bit. Wriggle's not the right word. So it's just time getting the diet and the management right. How did I know I had that right? Because I had loads of other animals that were all great and getting better, etc. So if you've got the diet and the management right, then over time. And you can do things like spray it with lucillin. I went down the whole route years ago of packing clay and various medicated muds and things like that, or into these areas. But I found that it made no difference. It made no difference. If anything, it kind of perpetuated the gap. So don't push around. Same thing for seedy toe. Seedy toe is often we have something called the crena marginis solaris, which is a crena. So when you've got a P3, you've got like a dip at the front of P3, and that means that there's more area to fill in. And in a normal, healthy horse, that's absolutely fine. The body copes with it. But when you have a horse that's got any stretch, it's more difficult, and then that starts to break apart at the actual toe. And made worse with things like toe clips, digging, grooving, cutting, all of those sorts of things. So again, it's about getting the diet and the management right, keeping that balance right, keeping them down to the hard sole plane so they don't overgrow, and just keeping on. You can't dig it out, you can't chase it out. Believe me, it's all been done and it doesn't work. The only thing that works is keeping that trim right, keeping that diet right, and keeping that management right. Do you agree, Gary?
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Does one front hoof quite a different shape indicate possible degeneration in one hoof, and can it be in one hoof only? It can be worse in one hoof. If you the hoof, because it's a hoof care professional problem, osteonecrosis, because it's a trim issue, you don't ever see it in one foot, which is another reason why you kind of go, there you go. You can see it worse in one foot than the other, because they depending on their trimming style, because it's a left and a right thing, they can allow heels to get higher on one side and take more toe off on one side. They won't keep it the same. They can't, because they've lost their guide point. So it's a little bit of, what did I do on that foot? Okay, trundle over to this foot. Now I pick this foot up. You're not going to do exactly the same. So you will have variations in it. When it's growing out, well, then that's going to reflect that variation that was caused in the first place with the degeneration. In the real world, we see, without osteonecrosis out there in the big wide world, we often see horses that have slightly different shaped hooves. But again, the history of these horses is important. And where did they come from? Did I ever tell you about the story of the lady that I went to, that I only went once? And she asked, and she had a show stallion, and I trimmed him, and she said she was not happy after the trim, and said, why? I want his feet to look the same on both sides. I just kind of stood there and I stared at her for a minute, thinking, do I bop her over the head with my rasp, or do I give her my rasp? So I just went, turned my rasp around and handed it to her and went, away you go. She just stared at me, and I went, I'm not doing that, because he has the foot he needs for his foot. I'm not going to try and make them look the same. Do you have everything on your body that's exactly the same? Is each side of you exactly the same? No. So, no. Anyway, I got my brass back off her and I never went back again. Abscesses. Have we covered abscesses? I've got something in my eye. Have we covered it? I know we're just going to do this every single night. We're going to be covering lots of things. Abscesses. Yeah, we can talk about abscesses, but not tonight. Not tonight. I trim a horse with laminitis on only one hind foot. She reckons from pelvis injury, other feet look great. Now, Grace, is that then therefore true laminitis, or are you seeing distortion in the lamina due to incorrect trimming that this horse has had in the past? And if they're telling you it's an injury, is that actually something that has been confirmed on X-ray? Fair enough if it has. And then what do humans do? We compensate. We try and allow compensatory measures for horses. And then things start to look different on the foot. I had a horse. Eh? What'd you say?
Need more info.
Yeah.
Need more info. Need more info.
I am finally on a live. So excited to be here from Wisconsin. Sorry I'm late. Woo! Shout out Wisconsin. Who is it? Gary's got to scroll through all the comments.
That's Kathleen. Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen. Sarah, can you cause damage to the white line with excessive hoof picking?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Leave it alone.
Don't touch. In the BHS handbook in the UK, I do believe it says that you should pick out your horse's feet every single day. No. I always say to my owners, only time I want you touching your horse's feet, really, and don't get paranoid. I spend my time trying to stop the neurosis because it's so easy. You know it. You're watching this right now, ladies, and you know there's a little part of you who's neurotic about your horse. You know it. You know you are. So I try to reduce that neurosis. Don't touch your horse's feet. You don't need to. The only time I want you to do that is if you're going to put hoof boots on and I want you to check. Or take a hoof pick out with you just in case it goes a bit off on the ride. You can jump off and pick the foot out. That's the only time. Can you imagine me, Gary, or you, in fact, going in my bag here? Rummage. What did we do when we were doing rummage? Oh, heart bar shoe. In my bag is a heart bar shoe. No, not that one. In my bag, in my Mary Poppins bag. Let me have a look in here. Oh, heart bar shoe. Oh, that's the one I took off earlier. That's a clog. Oh, that's a bit of a wrap that I took off earlier. Let's dig a bit deeper. Ha! A nail. Here you are, owner. Here's a nail. Pick out the stones every day. No! Can you imagine us doing that? No. Don't pick. The only time Gary and I will flick out, or our pros will flick out stones, is when they're proud and they're going to make my rasp spark. It's the only time. Lydia's got a very big question. I haven't read it, so here goes. I was trying to find the HSP. Sorry. I was trying to find Stop it. I was trying to find the HSP to lower the heels on my mule. Oh my God, I love mules. After the farrier took out her bars and left the seat of corn with the heel. We are in the middle of winter, snow packed to about 1 to 2 feet deep. So soles are smooth, and I think would be impacted at the heels as typically the farrier carved out the sole and frog. Grr. Any thoughts on how or if I can find the HSP? I'm thinking perhaps just waiting for the mule to get more sole. Yeah. If there's nothing showing in that seat of corn, leave it for the minute.
Leave it alone. Yeah, let it grow.
Yeah. And put some pictures up so we can have a look, Lydia.
Bless the heel really high, and there's some compaction.
Lydia, I'm pretty sure Lydia's a VIP.
Oh, we can talk about mule. Oh, that's very exciting.
Lydia, you're going to have a private, sounds terrible, isn't it? You're going to have a private session with me or Gary, or maybe even both if we're bored, and we'll come along and talk to you about your mule. So just hold fire. Lots of photos about your mule. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. I want to talk about mule feet. First one live. Great to be here. Love your videos and all the important information you give. My horse is sound first time in 2 years since I stopped my farrier chopping her toe. Now he starts believing that this can be a better option. I'm so glad he was open for trying new ways. We'll start the challenge next month. I'm so excited to start. Oh yes. Oh, where are you?
So encouraging.
Where are you in the world?
So encouraging.
Who's that?
I'm trying to find.
Under Lydia's comment.
They don't all, for some reason, they don't all come up on Facebook for some reason. Underneath Lydia is Dawn.
Oh, It isn't, unless you're looking
It's
at
really
the
odd.
wrong one. Put your name up so we know who you are, because Gary can't find you. Rebecca Davies says, I remember that. What? I don't know what we're talking about. Marion says, can groundwork and riding affect a horse's posture in his daily life, good or bad, and change the way its hooves self-trim? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Depends what kind of groundwork you do, depends what kind of riding you do, false collection, asking the horse to do too much when they're not balanced, asking the horse to do too much when they've got sore feet, asking the horse to do too much when they are not fit. That's why track systems are so amazing, because your horses are generally fit all the time. Yeah, all of that can happen. People can be so mean. I know. I don't know why you're saying that, but yeah, people are mean to me and Gary, Becky. But I know that you're there to look after us. Is Kathleen Roush? I've not seen you before, Kathleen. Hello. Is osteonecrosis reversible? Sorry for the terrible spelling. No. No. You can.
But it depends on the level of osteonecrosis. That will depend whether the horse can recover with a level of quality of life. So osteonecrosis, if you catch it in the early days, then it's not necessarily reversible, but it's not necessarily a death sentence. So, and also what we've got to bear in mind too is osteonecrosis, laminitis, or recurring laminitis, is so cruel, it doesn't kill them. That's a job that you have to do, which is horrendous.
Not
But
saying you do, Kathleen.
We don't tell lies. That's the reality. So
No.
it depends on the level of osteonecrosis. It really does depend. So you can have a little bit of degeneration, and yes, as long as the diet, the management, and the trim is right, then things can get better for sure. But then there's the other side too.
You can't create bone. You can't. And
No.
And we're talking about different bone surfaces here too, because we're not talking that there's no cartilage involved, because it's not a joint. It's the edge of a bone that's being degraded. And so there is nothing really helps in terms of drugs anyway, but there's nothing you can give the animal. There's nothing that you can do. The only thing that you can do is to try and stop the progress of it by getting it off its tip. But what we find, and I have to tell you, it really depends on the animal as well, because some animals will have not a great deal of osteonecrosis and they don't do very well. And then you get other animals that seem to have way more than you'd think is feasible for an animal to live with, and they seem to do okay, but not okay forever. It is definitely a progressive disease. And if you don't, or well, I'm going to call it a disease because it is diseased bone. Well, it is bone that is inflamed, and it is bone that is being reabsorbed because it's dying. Yeah, so it's a toughie. It's horrible, and we don't want to see it anymore. There's huge changes have to be made in the equine world. The equine world has got to take it on the chin and go, God, are you really telling me that we cause that? Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. That's like, it's too much for me to even bear. Well, you're going to have to bear it, because we've been bearing it for years, and we're not going to bear everybody's burden. It's the hoof care professionals who've really got to change. They've got to understand.
Take responsibility.
You really have got to take responsibility.
Take responsibility.
And more recently, there is proof in the progress and success with horses recovering in the Phoenix group. There is.
That happened just today. just today.
All you are doing is what's best for the horse. I am so glad I've found you all, because I can now see what's going on with my own horses. Stuff I just couldn't put a finger on, which is clear as day now. Sigh. Yeah, but it shouldn't be behind a closed door, should it? First and foremost, this information should be available to you, whether you have to, purchase all of it from us, or whether you go through the lives bit by bit. This information at least should be available to you. And one of the reasons it isn't available to you is because the world has gone like that and put their blinkers on. Only today I was reading a website from an American farrier who's quite well known in America. And he's talking about capsular rotation, and he's talking about bone rotation, about P3 rotation, as if they are two different things. And the reason he said that is because they have witnessed that when horses are in the right position, the capsule appears to grow away, separate, and so it's going out like this. They see that as capsular rotation. Then they see bony rotation as capsule being in the right position and the bones just moved. And I'm like, wow, no. In fact,
why can't you see it?
Why can't you see that is not the right position? And that would have been like the other one that you call capsular rotation had you kept the heels down. And then they go, oh, we know. And then they actually say, we can help these horses by remodeling the like, you're just saying that you can help them by changing the capsule, yet on the same breath you're saying it's not capsular rotation. It's so frustrating. And that article that I was reading, or the thing on his website, has been there because I've seen that now for years. It's not changed. It's had the same information on there for donkey's years. Stop and think. I heard a vet only the other day in the UK and Wales talk about capsular rotation and rotation of the bone. What? The bone is still attached to the capsule. We've proved that. It's not gone anywhere. It's attached. Every time the bone moves, the capsule moves with it. Until you go manipulating it and chopping off toes and just pretending that that everything's changed by trying to make it look better. Alison says, you have nothing to gain by being other than honest and passionate. They criticize because they feel threatened. We sell information. We give information free, and in our challenges, we're giving you even more information and we sell it. And frankly, we have got so much we've got to do in a short period space of time. There is going to have to be some of it that we have to put slightly behind a paywall. But you know what? You don't have to do it. You can just watch all of these lives. It just will take you an awful lot longer to get there because you'll have an awful lot more questions. But if you want to join us and be part of what we're doing to change the world, you kind of owe it to your horse to get every ounce, squeeze every ounce out of Gary and Lindsay that you can. Squeeze it out of me. I can't do it every night. No, I'm going to I won't be able to. So we've put all these wonderful challenges in place for you, and the 3-day in-person workshops. Imagine how fun they are. If you're in the UK, you have to come. We have a laugh. Muriel, who was a lady do you remember Muriel, who came to Goresworth last year, and she did prim and proper, and little tiny lady, and she was a Alexander technique lady.
Yes.
And she, I think it was that, I don't know, maybe it wasn't just that, I can't remember. Anyway, she was a classical trainer as well. So she's a classical trainer, so she knows. And in her, I don't know, a bit older than me, definitely older than me, but has been around, right? Knows her stuff. And when she turned up, I remember her sat there. She sat right at the front. Get on her. And she sat right in the front. and she had a bit of a not going to be amused face, but I clocked her straight away, and I thought, I'm going to have some fun with this lady. And boy, did we have a laugh, didn't we? She started to melt away and thaw. And by the end of it, she's like, I'll give you a review. I'm going to stand there and tell the world how flipping brilliant this was. She said, I laughed so much. I learned so much. Oh my God, I don't want it to end. And I've been on every course you can think of, and this is the best one I've ever been on. And that's amazing. It's amazing. And when I was a teacher, that's how my kids used to learn. We used to have some fun with it and think about it in a slightly different way to the way everybody else thinks about it. If I was to stand here every night with Gary, and we were boring, well, maybe we are boring. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we are boring. Maybe I'm blowing my own trumpet today. I'm actually quite boring. I don't know. Becky, they're threatened by your success. Well, I will gauge success when we stop seeing osteonecrosis. When we start seeing vets turn around and go, no, we rehab these horses this way. It's a proven technique. It's proven because they're following nature. We do it that way. And then our success rates are going to go sky high. That's when I will measure our success. That's when I will measure our success. That is exactly what I did. Once it's to that point, it's more of just keeping them comfortable. Yes, the osteonecrosis, but if it's gone beyond, you'll never keep them comfortable. Sadly, that's so sad. But the horse will tell you. You will know. The old saying, no hoof, no horse. Yes, it's absolutely okay and normal for some to think my horse cannot go without shoes. I know. Because they can't, because they don't have the knowledge. That's number one. They don't have the knowledge. And yet we've had loads of people that have come to our workshops who have had shoes on. And they, at the end, they go, as soon as get home, coming off. And they go, I didn't know. I didn't know. Now I know. And now I know they're coming off. And we have to go through that transition. I need my horse to have his own feet. I need them to be like that. There is nothing so startling to ram something home when you have a bunch of horses' hooves, cadaver hooves, and they've all got shoes on, and you pass one out to everybody, and they just go, once they've already trimmed barefoot horses now, so a lot of those are like, oh, that's not very nice or whatever. Then they get given a shod horse, and then they're like, oh God, the difference is shocking between a barefoot horse.
Everybody gets it. Usually that day is when the tears come out.
Day two.
That day is usually when the tears come out.
You're getting
because it's that realization, but you can't. That's why knowledge is so important.
Of course, I've been without my microphone this entire time. Hello.
I meant to say earlier and I completely forgot.
Sorry.
Deep voice on.
Hello.
Oh, that means I'm in trouble now. What were we saying?
I keep
I've lost
forgetting
it already.
my microphone.
I've lost it now. It's come back to me.
What were we saying?
There's too many things going on in our brains.
No idea. Monica sends 2 hearts. Thanks, Monica. Others are feeling threatened, otherwise they wouldn't be concerned about what you're doing. I get it. If you've been doing it one way for a while, I get it. But rather than throw stones, quietly come over and have a little listen. Don't go, no, it's not happening. No, they're all stupid.
The thing is, that's what I was going to say.
That's why you hide.
Whether you've got shoes on or not, you're having the right hoof care or not, whether you're doing the right diet or not, you can't know what you don't know. But when you know it, you can't unknow it. So you've got to follow what works.
At least
the evidence speaks to itself. And this,
At
I've got to
least
say
go
this
and
one
look.
thing. The evidence on live recovering horses. Oh my God. Do we need scientific papers written to prove that what we say is working? Or is that horse, those hundreds and hundreds of horses around the world that have actually improved, got better, and continue to thrive, not just survive?
Somebody wrote on the Phoenix group, somebody wrote on the page this evening that today on that post that I put up. God, I haven't even done breakover. I'll do it tomorrow. That put on that post, what does Professor Robert Bowker think of this? I mean, firstly,
I saw that.
I have no idea. But like I said, plain facts. He doesn't rehab horses like we do. He's done 2 studies on live horses. One of them was on the hoof wall, and it was just 1 limb on 6 horses. And the other one was 7 horses that they trimmed in Australia over a period of 16 months, just trimming them. And who trimmed them, and we don't know how healthy they were and how they were kept. The rest of them have all been on cadaver hooves. They were in the lab. He hasn't taken that and got evidence-based studies. Where are they? You can go out and get evidence-based studies and get those in a paper and get those reviewed, but there aren't any. Yet here we are producing images of all those people that chuck those stones. Where are theirs? Let's have them. Let's have your images of recovery. Come on, let's start the debate. Don't just go, they're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. Okay, show us your examples of why we are wrong. But the trouble is, because we're one of the only few people in the world that do this, and there aren't very many of us, the ones that are the name callers and the ones that say we're wrong, have never tried it. Not once. So they're making an assumption. They're making an assumption. Stop making assumptions, because you know what assume means. Makes an ass of you and me. Don't assume. Go and either come and look at our studies and find out, or go and do it yourself. Don't just say it ain't gonna work. Carol says you guys are tough. Not really. Not really.
Oh, it might come across like that on the telly.
They demonize.
It's hard sometimes.
It is hard. They demonize what they consider
It is
competition. Those packages are money makers. And brave. Stupid, probably, is what I'd say. Not brave. Yes, thank goodness for you and Gary putting your heads on the black block for horses all over the world. Humans are the only cruel species on earth, but could we discuss contracted heels? Please, please, please. Not tonight, tomorrow. It's obvious you're about welfare. Look at all this info for free. Who else does that? They just criticize. Right. Show us your studies. Give us your free. You do your It's Not Rocket Science lessons. You go and do a live every single night. Why are we doing it? Because we want the world to know, to stop it. And the only people that can stop this is you. They pick and choose welfare. Here, the RSPCA are doing nothing about the aerial shooting of our brumbies, leaving foals motherless. God, don't. Do you have RSPCA in Australia then? That I just learned something there. I didn't know that. You are so right. The equine world is a disgrace. Yet whilst beating the welfare drum, they run the other way. Absolutely. Alison Franks, you are completely right. Check the diet and management once the hoof care is on the HSP trim. The open mind will see this is how the hoof works. But do you think it's because people don't want to do the work or to help their horses? They want what is easy for them. The equine industry has been so blind to the horse's real needs over the quick and temporary fixes. The other are not about welfare. It's about products, marketing, and conditioning. Yeah.
There's so much. Humans are so complicated. I think there's a lot of humans out there as well, and they absolutely adore their horses. But if they're really honest with themselves, they actually prefer the riding and the doing with the horses and the competing. That's what they get more of a kick out of. That's their random rewarding. And it's not always that easy. And also, I think as well, with some human psyche, I have my farrier or my hoof trimmer. It is their job to look after the feet. When something else goes wrong, it is the vet's job to look after that part of the horse. When there's something goes wrong with the teeth, it's the dentist's job. Oh yes, sometimes we need them for help. But is what they're saying proven, and have they got studies to back it up? A lot of the cases, particularly in our industry, no, they haven't. Their success rate is extremely low.
It's poor.
Extremely low. So it is about waking up, taking responsibility for these specialized animals. And our Phoenix Warriors are all here for that. You are here for that. This is more for when it goes out on YouTube. Come and join us. Come and join the Phoenix Way Path to Hoof Health. That's what we created this group for. But isn't it sad that we had to make a private group with rules to get so many of you to come and join us? We could never have done this on our public page.
No, people wouldn't have wanted to share.
Never could we have done that.
And you don't want to share
page.
because also you don't want to be ridiculed or
No.
you know what it's like in these other groups, right? I don't go into them, but Gary does occasionally, and the others do, and they know what it's like. It's hideous in some of these groups.
It's hideous.
When I was asking, I was told, well, you know what you've got to do with laminitis. Well, you know what you've got to do with that. Thankfully, I just kept asking questions until I found you. Yeah.
Bless you, Becky.
When saddle fitting was an issue, I was doing it in Italy. How many times was I told, oh, you just want to sell saddles? I often heard, this saddle must be okay. I paid a lot of money for it. Yeah, right. So keep on bashing on, guys. As I keep saying, the pioneers get the arrows and the settlers get the land. I hear everything you say about your mission. Sorry, can't think of a better way to describe it. Keep going. You have us troops behind you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you.
That was a perfect way of describing it.
Love these. I've just signed up for the challenges. Who was that?
Oh, no, I'm going to have to find. I've completely lost track.
This conversation makes me think of my ex-farrier. He told me I needed to wake up and open my eyes. Oh. Becky, you educate us all so well, but the lives are really helpful as they give us support in a very wrong horse world. It's nice to be among them. Yeah, we are here to help you and give you support. Those not rocket science videos are great for sharing precise topics with the carers of our horses. Very helpful. Yes, apparently so. I'm not sure that they particularly love it, but being shown, oh God. It's not rocket science on compaction, contraction. They seem to go hand in hand. Please. Did I? Okay. I don't think I did do one on that. When one hoof is high and upright and the other is low and flat, please enlighten me which is the stronger foot. The upright hoof is labeled the club foot, and is that the stronger one because it grows so much faster than the low flat one? Is that right? It doesn't grow faster. We did one on high-low. It's actually is on YouTube, and I think it's in the guides as well. What's the lowdown on high-low syndrome? I think we called it. No, that you don't get. One is not stronger than the other. They both are actually suffering from the problems that are going on in that with that horse. They because they're not right, you know, and a lot of club feet, a lot of high-low is made worse and worse and worse by the hoof care profession. Just going, oh, he's got a club foot, and the owner going, oh, he's just got a club foot. When in actual fact, you've allowed it to get clubbier. Because when we put these animals on the right kind of diet and management, that high-low evens itself out. It begins to even itself out. We've just done that. Sorry. Both my horses have it this winter from the heels towards the quarters. Yeah. Stick it out, kiddo. I love taking my courses. I have taken many courses over the years with top and reputable sources who also advise management and diet and barefoot rehab, but there were gaps which finally are being addressed by both of you. Now I know where I was going wrong. Thank you both from the bottom of my heart. I just wish I'd found you years ago. Keep up the good work and don't worry about the naysayers. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.
We hear that a lot about the gaps, and we hear that from professionals a lot about the gaps. Yes, tried to dig out seedy toe for years. Didn't work, did it? Don't dig it. Can it happen just because of mud? They were fine before all the mud died. No. I mean, if you're... obviously the mud is going to be a bit grittier, isn't it? Right. And if there are any imperfections, my word, the environment is going to show those weaknesses. It really, really will. So my guess is that there's probably are already some weaknesses. It isn't just because of muds, because obviously we've got horses in muds, or everybody, we've got so many horses that we've rehabbed and they have fine hooves. But we are with animals that are in a domestic setting. How about their movement, Dawn? Do you think you can increase their movement? Are they moving enough? Are they getting enough movement? Are they hanging around and camping out at various places? Think about that. We have a pony that has had a fractured shoulder and recovered. However, his hoof on injured side trims up slightly smaller than definite. Yes, that's normal. So I've trimmed animals that have had damaged shoulder injuries, broken shoulder blades, and yes, their hoof shape does change, and their hoof shape can change through incorrect saddle fitting as well. What about if there is blackness in the collateral groove? Should we be picking out more, squirting this, or just leave it alone? Yeah, you if it's chunky, nasty, yes, but spray it rather than, you can spray it with lucillin, but if it's a persistent and it's oozy and it's not because you got a drafty or something or whatever and it's oozy, paste in the antiseptic cream that's mixed in with the thrush cream. Paste that in and that will stop the crud getting in and it will stick in there and it will heal gradually. Frogs are so sensitive that they really, really, really are. I remember the muddy fetlock and accused you of different hoof. That is how I found you. Sorry. God, these posts, comments from who I was saying like 40 minutes ago.
There's so many tonight.
I love that you guys are so upfront and blunt about the truth. No matter how touchy the subject, you still give the fact. Yeah, been there, done that. I'm just gonna tell it how it is now. Thank you so much.
What people,
you're welcome.
Some people come across us, and if they don't know us well enough, like you all do, they think it comes across as arrogant. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is because we have experience and we have success. So that's not arrogance. That is confidence and the willingness to share. We put in our money where our mouth is.
We are walking the walk because we've taught.
Who else is doing what we do? No one.
Walk the walk. Becky says,
shut up.
Shut up. I was almost thrown out of the barefoot group because I dared to say that the reason if a horse was sore might be because they had their toes chopped off. I couldn't believe it. The provinces asked for help, but the admins didn't want me to suggest that might be the problem. It's such a shame. People try. Yeah, because you're a bad girl for saying that, because that clearly isn't a problem. I'm here to tell you it really is. And
really
you've seen
is.
it. You've seen it. I can't believe that you do this every day, but I'm really glad you do. Might not be for very long, much longer. I don't know. I cancelled a horse vet chiropractor appointment this month so I could get into the field. I'll give you a big hug.
You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed.
It was money well worth spent, because guess what? You might not need your chiropractor in the future. I'm sure you were an amazing teacher. I'd have to ask the kids that. The workshops are amazing. I've been on 5. They're awesome. Plus wonderful friends. Not boring. Me too. Yeah. Tears of joy. Shod horses on day 2. Is that what we're talking about? Oh yeah, grim. I'd like to say you can't know what you don't know, but once you know better, you have to do better. Yes. Oh, that's so true. Once you
Indeed.
know, you have to do better. You have to step up. There are so many comments. I can't go through them all. Thank you so much. I've unsubscribed to all the other groups. Sick of the awful comments.
That's pretty much what we did.
Yeah, and I never subscribed in the first place. They say to sell them as they are wasted. Obviously, they are meant to be machines and nothing else. Saw the transition of the club foot by one of your pros. Yeah, that was Louise.
That's Louise. Really good.
Loads and loads of movement. Actually, I need to go back and look at her post, because she did ask me if I'd seen it and I skirted over it. Yeah, okay. All right, Dawn. Just keep playing on, girl. See what spring brings. Exactly. Love this group. So much information and advice. It's great. Conformism is very hard. Where I am, if you don't have the same habit, food, feet, asking them to walk more, but it's windy outside or cold. Yeah, right. Having the faith in what we see is working for the horse well-being is victory. There was a lady today who, we don't even know who this lady is, who came onto the Phoenix group. You may have or may or not have seen it. And she put 3 pictures of her 3 horses. And she went, thank you, Lindsay and Gary. You have given me the confidence to just stop everything I was doing, as in feeding and all of that, and change the diet and manner. She hasn't even been on a challenge. She just watched the free information and she can already see huge differences. And she was so grateful for us for helping her. And then she said, and now I want to go on the challenge because I just want to know more. But isn't that lovely that these free lives, and it's not rocket science lessons, are helping people like you? You are all helping each other. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. We are going to change the world. This is the biggest welfare change the equine world in modern times has ever gone through. If we can make people listen, it will make the biggest, most profound change to this world, to this equine world, that is ever seen, because this goes deep into the core of the problem, us humans. All right then. Oh, I've got one thing I want to say very quickly. Gary and I are going to do, there's not going to be a public live on Saturday evening for us, because we are going to do a live, well, not a live, an event for people who want to know more about the pro group, the pro training, because there's quite a few people that are asking us questions about the pro training. So we are going to do that. And if any of our pros are watching now, Becky, Grace, etc., you can come on there too and be there with us. Just so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the link up in the group. It's free to register, but you just got to register so that we know how many people are going to be on it. You can come along and be nosy if you want. You've not got any intention of doing it at all, but you want to be nosy. That's fine, because you can tell other people as well. But we are on Saturday. We're going to be talking about our pro training and why our pro training is special, and why it's going to make very, very special people. So you're all special people, but these are the X-Men of the hoof care world. These are super powered people. All right then, so that will go up in the group, that link. All right then, we'll see you tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about contraction, maybe we'll talk about breakover, I don't know. Okay then, bye my lovelies.